This is your weekly podcast for Rocky's Rockin' Cruises and Adventures, bringing to you information about the greatest rock and roll cruises in the world. Hosted by Kathleen, Kane, and Rocky. I'm Kathleen Kane, and we are podcasting to you from Wiley Productions. I'm the general manager and also head of the podcast division. It's always a lot of fun here, and today is just the same, just another fun day. We are going to be talking about Rocky's Rockin' Cruises and Adventures. This is an introduction podcast to a whole series. And with me today is the founder and executive producer of Rockin the Caribbean, Rocky. So welcome.
Thank you, Kathleen. Glad to be here.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I was on the cruise in February, so I know some of what he'll be talking about. But first, since this is an introduction, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started?
Well, we're going to be talking a lot about Rockin the Caribbean cruises. And I got started doing cruises back in early 1980s. And they were rock and roll cruises. And one thing that was happening on those cruises is we performed on the cruises is there was only one or two shows during the week on the cruise. And people were walking around and coming up to me and saying, hey, we thought this was a rock and roll cruise. Now, these cruises were for other promoters. And as we were doing these cruises throughout the years, I started thinking about what do people really want? What do they want to see? What do they want to hear? What do they want to be a part of on a cruise ship when they come on a specialty cruise like Rockin the Caribbean? And the little light bulb went off in my head, and I decided to put together a whole week's worth of entertainment and special events on the cruise. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much how it got started. And then in 1986, we started thinking about when we were going to do the cruises and what acts we were going to bring on, what kind of shows we were going to do. And it's just grown from there into what it is today, which is Rockin the Caribbean.
Well, you're always coming up with so many great ideas. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started.
Yeah, I got started when I was 18 years old in the rock and roll business, primarily with 50s and 60s artists that had the records back in those eras, and then moved up into the 70s and started performing with those acts. And I've been doing it now for 46 years.
Wow.
And got to know all these great artists, some 300 artists that I performed with. They've all become my friends, and having them on this cruise for a whole week is almost like bringing them back to when they were on the bus tours back in the 50s and 60s. That's how they feel. They have a great time. They get to talk to each other. They actually become passengers on the cruise, and it's just a great time. And our guests, our cruisers that come on Rockin the Caribbean, get to hang out with them the whole week, which is a whole lot of fun. So that's kind of how I got started doing this long time ago.
Yeah, there you can see, I was on the cruise in February on Wonder of the Seas in 2023, and you can really see there's such a bond between you and all the artists, and the people see that, and then they, by the end of the cruise, feel that bond as well. It becomes like a family.
Yeah, and you were great, by the way, on the cruise. But yeah, it's become, there's a lot of camaraderie between everyone, and what the guests experience is they become friends with the acts. So a lot of these people back in the 50s or 60s or early 70s, whenever in high school or college or just hanging out at home listening to these great records, they actually get to meet these artists now.
Right. And
hang out with them all week and talk about different things, become friends with them. And that's why I think it's been so successful, and it really kind of warms my heart to see the acts get together all week long on the ship and talk about the old times, talk about what they've been doing, because there aren't as many shows as there used to be. So these guys get together once a year or twice a year and talk about what they've been doing, what they're going to be doing, and just having a great time on the cruise.
Right. So not only are you having this awesome entertainment, as the executive producer, you're also creating so many moments, so many memories. So we're excited about the next one, and that's Adventure of the Seas. So when is that, and where will that cruise be going to?
We'll be leaving out of Port Canaveral, Florida, February 16th of 2024. And it's an 8-day cruise this time, not 7. So we get an extra day.
Ooh,
There'll be
nice.
4 ports of call. When we get down in the Caribbean, one is Labadee, which is Labadee, Haiti, which is a private island that Royal Caribbean owns. We'll be spending the whole day there. It's absolutely fun in the sun. And then we'll be leaving and going to Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic. We'll be spending the day there.
Okay.
Very beautiful tropical paradise. From there, we go on to St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, spend the whole day there. And if you've never been to St. Thomas, there's some absolute beautiful beaches there.
Of course, yeah.
Really, really nice. And then from there, we go to St. Croix in the Virgin Islands. And I love St. Croix. I spent a lot of time down there. Back in the early 80s and into the 90s, we used to do a lot of concert dates all over the Virgin Islands, and St. Croix was one of my favorite places to perform. So it'll be fun going back down there and spending the day and get to go to Frederickstad and Christianstad, which are the two main towns in St. Croix, and hanging out. And you have to go to the Cruisian Rum Distillery.
So not only is he the founder and executive producer, but you're the cruise director as well.
Yeah, it seems to be that way now.
Well, you've done it so many times.
We have. This will
Yeah.
be our 24th cruise with Rockin the Caribbean. I've done this will be 148th
Wow.
cruise
Wow.
that I've done that were Rockin' Roll cruises.
Yeah.
But like I said, this one now is going to be one that I'm looking forward to because of some of the acts that are on it and the places we're going. They seem to get better and better every year that
Of
we do them,
course.
Kathleen, because the acts get very comfortable with each other. We get a lot of return passengers that do it every year, and we get a lot of new passengers.
Yeah.
And it's fun to see them intermix and people telling them what to expect with all the different events that we do. We do quite a few events, 2 to 3 events a day. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's always a lot of fun and a new experience every time we do it.
Awesome. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about that, but let's roll a video.
Hi, I'm Lori with AAA, and we're on the Rockin the Caribbean cruise that we do every year. And with me today is Rocky from Rocky and the Rollers.
Hi, Laura. Join us, and you'll see all kinds of events. Not just a question and answer with all these great artists, but you'll be able to go to a trivia contest. You'll be able to go to an autograph session, meet and greet session. Also, the dances. Hold on, let's get ready to rock dance on the first night. You'll dance the night away. Just think you'll be in the Caribbean and be dancing on a ship. It's unbelievable. Then you can come to the sock hop and dress up, slick your hair back, wear your poodle skirt, or maybe become a hippie again, man. You know what I mean? You could do that. Come to the prom night. You could be king or queen for the whole week on Rockin the Caribbean. You'll be treated like royalty, rock and roll royalty, that is. Also, all the concerts with all the great original artists from the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
You said that you love me too, and then you kissed me. If you leave me, I'm crazy. Don't you? It's lonely for you. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go.
Be there or be square. Rockin the Caribbean next year.
Wow, what fun.
Yeah.
So as you can see, lots of events, lots of shows. So what can we expect in the main showroom?
Well, okay, the main showroom, there's
Yeah.
going to be quite a few shows throughout the week in there with our headlining artists. There's the sensational 60s show where I have some of the 60s acts that are joining us performing there. It's usually about a 90-minute show that happens in the main showroom, and it's always a lot of fun to see these acts on the big stage, on a big ship like that.
But yet right in front of you at the same
But
time.
right in front of you, and
Yes.
it's just
Right.
a blast. It really
Yes.
is. Then there's the original Hitmaker show, which will have a couple of acts, headlining acts on that. There's the doo-wop and rock show, which will have a little bit of the doo-wop from the 50s, kind of meeting with the rock and roll of the 60s and 70s.
Right.
You're going to be doing your
Yes,
This
I
Is My
am.
Life show, Kathleen Kane, which is always a blast. I love that show.
Thank you for that.
And then, of course, the Bowser's Rock and Roll Party show with Bowser and Johnny Caputo.
oh gosh, so
Sha-na-na.
much. So awesome.
Yeah, that's
and
always
I
such a
love the
fun show.
Stingrays. I love them too.
Great singers that are
Yes.
with Bowser and Johnny.
Yeah, the blend, the harmonies, the excitement.
Yeah, it's always a
Yes.
fun, energetic show, as they say.
Yes, it is. And the audience participation is there as well.
A lot of audience participation.
Yes.
Actually, the whole week there's a lot of audience
True.
participation.
That's very true. And then, of course, not only do you have all these shows to go to, you're going to the different islands, of course, whatever the ship has to offer, you also have daily special events.
We do. Now, we have 5 dances throughout the week. What's different about Rockin the Caribbean than with any other of the rock and roll cruises are the dances that we have in Studio B. Now,
Right.
Studio B on the Royal Caribbean ships are the ice skating rink. And we cover that ice with a big dance floor that holds about 400 people. The venue itself seats about 700.
Oh, yeah, because some people, if you don't want to always dance, it's fun just to sit
Just to
and
watch the
watch
dancing.
everything, even the fun on the floor.
So the first night that we leave, we have what's called the Let's Get Ready to Rock party in Studio B. It's a dance. We introduce all the headlining acts. You get to see them. Rocking the Rollers perform
Right.
that night for dancing. You get to dance. You get to have a good time. The acts will be in there. You can mingle with them. You could even dance with some of the acts. And then we're going to have prom night a couple nights later. Now this is a prom. So you'll go to dinner. You'll leave dinner. You'll come into Studio B. A lot of people wear their gowns and tuxes, and we pick a king and queen of the prom. It is a kind of a formal dance, but you don't have to dress
Right.
that
You
formal
can
if
be
you don't
casual
want
if
to.
you
can
want
be casual, yes.
Right.
But if you want to be considered for king and queen of the prom for Rockin the Caribbean that year, you should dress
Right.
accordingly.
Yeah.
Then we also have the sock hop night.
Right.
The sock hop night is probably my favorite dance of the week. A lot of people, I've never seen so many poodles in my life. A lot of the women dress
Poodle
up in poodle
skirts.
skirts.
That's
A lot
right.
of the guys slick their hair back, or you can come
Sure.
as a 60s hippie if you want and go, hey, peace, man.
Yeah.
That's always a fun night. We have Al Brady's Hitmakers high school reunion dance, and that's always a lot of fun. That's more of a, you could go up and just request any songs. He's pretty
Right.
much has any songs from those eras.
Right.
And you could dance the night away with him in Studio B. And then the last night we're on the cruise, we have a dance. It's called the Good Night Sweetheart Dance. And that's where all the acts come back in. They come up on stage and sing with each other. Different songs that you wouldn't normally hear them sing. Rocking the Rollers are performing. Rocking the Rollers perform on everything that week. It's
all part of the fun.
it's all part of the fun.
Yes.
So we're always with the headlining acts in the showroom,
Right.
or we're in Studio B.
Right.
Now, some of the other functions that we do.
Yeah,
are,
I was going to say, because that's some of the special events that you do with the autograph sessions, Q&A, that also adds to that bond, that intimacy with a lot of the acts.
Yeah, we do an autograph session in the conference center. We do a couple of functions in the conference center on the ship, and the autograph session is we'll bring you in. You can bring your booklet.
You supply the book.
We supply the book, and
Yeah.
in our next episode, we'll be
Yes.
getting into some of the stuff that you folks will get
Okay.
when you sign up for Rockin the Caribbean.
Sure.
But they sign the autographs. A lot of people bring their old albums or 45s to have the artist sign, take pictures with them.
Someone brought a guitar in February.
Somebody brought a guitar and had all the
Yes.
acts sign it. That was
Yeah.
kind of cool.
That was.
In fact, I wish I had it.
Well, you know, I have to say, one of the most fun things for me, I mean, it was all fun, but was Rockaroki. The judges were hysterical. Oh, my goodness.
Rockaroki's something that I added about 6 years ago on the cruise. And I got to thinking, we need something where we can get the passengers, our guests, more involved that are cruising with us. So I was thinking, karaoke. And I'm like, well, I don't want to just be karaoke. And I came up with this Rockaroki theme.
Yeah.
And it's a cross between like America's Got Talent and karaoke combined. And we do it a little bit later in the night. And we have celebrity judges. So some of the headlining artists will be celebrity judges. And the folks will come up and they'll pick songs that they want to sing on stage. And it'll be a karaoke type machine. And then after they're done singing, the artists critique their singing. And then vote on who wins. And the person that wins gets to sing that song live on stage with Rockin' the Rollers on the last night at the Good Night Sweetheart Dance.
Right.
And it's hilarious. A lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. We're talking with Rocky. He is the founder and executive producer of Rockin the Caribbean and also of Rocky's Rockin' Cruises and Adventures. Now, we've been talking a lot about all the different activities and the acts. Tell us, who are some of these original recording artists who will be joining
Oh, I'd be
you on
happy
this
to,
new
yeah.
cruise? Yes.
I'd be happy to, Kathleen. So this year we have Gary Lewis and the Playboys joining us.
Oh, wow. That's
And
great.
Gary's singing all his hits. I mean, in the 60s, Gary Lewis had 17 top 40 records.
Right.
That's a lot of records. Bowser and Johnny Contardo and the Stingrays, of course, will be joining us. Brian Hyland will be with us on the next cruise. Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny,
Bikini.
Yellow Polka Dot
Yellow
Bikini.
polka dot bikini.
You're too young.
Thank you.
Jay Siegel's Tokens. Jay Siegel is the original lead singer of the Tokens who sang the song The Lion Sleeps Tonight.
And it was also in the movie The Lion King. And so many people, I mean, even the much younger people just love that because he still sounds like that.
He does.
Amazing.
He sings it in the original key that he sang it
Right,
in
exactly.
way back when. Peggy March will be joining us.
Aw,
You might
Peggy.
remember her from the 60s as Little Peggy March. Don't call her Little anymore. She doesn't like that.
I will follow him.
I will follow him.
Yeah.
Dennis Stefano, the original lead singer of the Buckinghams.
Yeah.
One of the #1 groups in the 1960s. Remember all their great hit records, and,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about that in some more episodes.
Sure.
Lala Brooks, who was the original lead singer of the Crystals, the Do Run Run. Then He Kissed
She's
Me.
awesome.
Oh,
yeah.
she's awesome. All those great
And
records.
she brings her backup singers with her.
Oh, they're great too.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yes.
Vito Picone and the Elegants give us kind of that 50s doo-wop flavor.
Yeah.
And Vito's just great singing, I mean, he's the biggest record, probably one of the biggest records of all time.
Right.
And we'll get into that later in episodes
Sure.
also.
Yeah.
Of course, Rockin' the Rollers.
That's right.
We'll be there all week. Kathleen Kane will be joining us, and which I look forward to every year on the cruise now because
Yeah.
she does such a great job with
It's fun.
great voice.
Oh,
by
thank
the
you.
way. And my buddy DJ Al Brady will be there hosting
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff. And
He's
doing-
awesome.
He does some
Yeah.
trivia shows
That's
throughout
true,
the week
that's right.
that are just
Yeah.
great. And we give away prizes and stuff at the trivia shows. So people will enjoy that too. That's something usually on an at-sea day that people can go down and do in the afternoon. So those are the folks joining us
Right.
on our next cruise.
Now, this is just a start. This is just the introduction, to Rockin' the Caribbean and just filling you in on an overall view. So we're going to be having a series. And next week and the following week, we'll be having all these acts on and talking with them personally on the big screen.
Yes, surprise special guests.
Yes.
But that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to bring one of the acts each week on to talk
Right.
about the cruise, talk about their careers a little bit, talk about what they're doing now, what they did back then. It's always a lot of fun to talk to these guys. And you got to tune in next week to see who I'm bringing next week,
I know,
okay?
I'm so excited. I don't even know.
Nope.
So very excited. Okay, so we know so much about the cruise. How can we book it?
How can you book it? Well, it's very simple to book it.
Oh, good.
You cannot call Royal Caribbean directly, okay? We have exclusive bookers on this, and that's AAA Travel. You must call AAA Travel to be able to book into this cruise because it is a group going on the ship. If you call Royal Caribbean, you won't be able to book into the group. You must call AAA Travel, and we'll have those numbers and ways that you can get a hold of those folks to book Rockin the Caribbean exclusively. That'll be shown on the big screen here in just a minute.
And for more information, they can go to your website.
Or they
well.
can just go to the website
Sure.
and find it on rockysrockincruises.com.
Well, thank you, Rocky. Thank you so much for
My
being
pleasure.
here today. Thank you for putting together just so many wonderful shows over the years, even on land and sea. You're
very much,
just the
Kathleen.
best. Once again, Rocky, he is the founder and executive producer of Rockin the Caribbean, along with all the Rocky cruises and adventures that we'll be talking about in this series. I'm Kathleen Kane, once again podcasting to you from Wiley Productions, and we'll catch you next time.